Speaksies.
In an industry that often defines rebellion as a large group of people dressing and behaving exactly the same, our guest has gone against the grain by simply playing the music he wanted to play with the message that he wanted to sing. His band Stryper has sold over 10 million records, and their newest album, Even the Devil Believes, is available for purchase or download everywhere. And most importantly for me personally, Stryper on their In God We Trust tour was my first rock concert ever in 1989. So I'm very happy and honored to welcome today our guest, Michael Sweet of Stryper.
Thank
Michael,
you, guys. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So in 1989, I'm sure you remember me sitting in the back of the Hampton Coliseum. So it's good for us to catch up again.
I do remember. Gosh, you were wearing a white T-shirt and red pants and a bandana, a red bandana.
How did you guess? I knew I was planning for this moment 30 years ago. It's finally coming to. So Michael, you and Stryper have been more productive artists during the COVID period. Tell us about what you guys have been up to.
Well, our schedules kind of aligned with COVID, if that makes any sense. We had everything on the books pre-COVID. So we were scheduled to start on a new album. I started writing in December. We started rehearsing in January. That's when we started hearing about what was going on in China. And then as we continued to record and advance in terms of putting the album together, it got worse and worse. We went to Mexico. When we got back from Mexico into February, we were in lockdown mode and like the rest of the world. So it was pretty much life as usual for us. When we went into lockdown mode here at my house and, we were supposed to stay quarantined for a few weeks, that was nothing new to me. I just went down in my basement studio and started recording vocals for the new album. So it just really kind of lined up and worked out. And it was nothing out of the ordinary for me or for the band. The only thing that might have been is when it came time to shoot the videos for the album. We did that just a few months ago, if that. And the guys flew out here and we again quarantined for a few weeks. We all got tested, did all the requirements because we want to be smart. But yet at the same time, life goes on. You can't, the mentality of some people is, you have to be smart, but they take it so far that they never leave their homes and life is not continuing. And we're a band. We still are going to figure out ways to survive and rise above and stay active and all that good stuff. So, we're not being irresponsible. We're just doing our job.
Yeah.
Cool. So the theme of the episode that we're interviewing for is album titles with titles drawn from the Bible. So we thought you would be a great guest for us on that. Where do you draw inspiration for your music? And are there any current artists that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I draw a lot of inspiration. Obviously, everybody knows this, I hope, from the Bible, from the good book, from the Word. As a matter of fact, some of the songs are literally right out of the Bible. It's scripture put to music. So that's really important, for us, and always has been. That's our calling, and that's what we're here and what we feel led to do. In terms of music, I don't listen to a lot of music. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I love a lot of artists. I'll hear a song and I'll say, oh, wow, I like that. Or that's really good. I just like a good song, whether it's John Legend or Adele or Judas Priest, or, if I hear something that makes my ears perk up, I'm there. I'm gonna be able to enjoy it and tap my foot and get into it, and maybe even purchase it. I'll be honest, I haven't purchased a lot of music, download or streaming or actual physical copies, because I've been so busy. I know that sounds like a cop out, but it's true. I'm busy doing music on my own all the time.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've heard other artists, a totally different genre, of course. I remember Prince saying that he didn't listen to a lot of music because if he wanted to hear a song, he would just write a song, creating music. So
yeah, I certainly don't, nor have I ever listened to music to guide me or to help me as a writer or to write a song. Never in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I draw, from my own personal stories or what I've experienced in life, or from the Word of God, or from love for my family, my wife, my children. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's where my inspiration comes from, not from other artists or other music per se.
Cool. So, Scott and I embrace the idea that while we live in a contentious time, we are not as far apart as politically or socially as the media or social media makes us believe. This makes me think about the song on your new album, Make Love Great Again. Tell us a little bit about this song.
Yeah, gosh, that song is just about, literally putting love first. Everybody knows the President Trump, slogan, expression, "Make America Great Again." And I think America is great in many ways, and always has been and always will be. We can always improve upon the system, no doubt. But the way we make anything great again is through love. So you're not going to make America great again unless love is great again. It starts there. And I was just flipping through, the channels this morning, the news. I sit and have a cup of coffee and I watch the news for half an hour. That's it.
Mhm.
Not every day, but every other day or so what, or so on. And what I do is I'll watch CNN for 10 minutes, then I'll watch Fox for 10 minutes just for fun, just to get the extreme
Right.
polar opposite opinions.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty hilarious sometimes because it really is so biased. But on CNN, I was watching the commentator, newsman, get so heated asking someone of the opposite party about questions he wanted the answers to. And that's the problem, is people take it so serious and it's so deep that it literally turns them into complete raging lunatics. They become so crazy. You could see his eyes popping out of his head and almost foaming at the mouth. He was getting so angry. And it's like, that's the problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with having different parties and different opinions. That's perfectly natural.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's the way we disagree with those opinions that's really disheartening. It's terrible.
Right. And if you disagree, you're evil, maybe,
Right.
which is not really the case.
gosh.
And like Steve said, you get people together in a room and talk. Generally, you're not that far apart. But goodness, from watching the media,
I mean, if you say you vote, you support Trump, you're stupid.
right?
If you say you support Biden, you're a socialist. If
Right.
you're something. You're going to be called some derogatory name for supporting anyone, and it's just ridiculous, man. It irks me. It irks me so much so, and I mean, it's probably something that's never going to change in the free world. I think it's always going to be that way. It does seem a little worse over the past few years, for sure. And people blame that on Trump. I don't blame it on Trump at all.
Twitter and Instagram, which, by the way, anyone listening can see us at Speaksies on Twitter and Instagram, but we only have positive posts.
You're right. You hit the nail on the head right there. It's primarily due to social media. I mean, that really fuels the fire. But, look at the person in the mirror. What are you doing to make this place, this world, this country better? We
started with bandanas. That's step one on our campaign. We'll let you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So, you have been making music with the same group of guys for almost 40 years now. So what is it like working with the same group of people, including your older brother, for so long?
Well, it's got its moments, really incredible, awesome moments, and then moments that you wish never happened. I guess it's very similar. Being in a band is very similar to being married. You're going to have those great times, and then you're going to have some bad times.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a smooth road, and then you're going to have a bumpy road at times. And it's the same way being in a band. But I think having been together for almost 40 years, we've figured out a way to make it work, and we're willing to work on it if we have a problem. You know, not just say, "Oh well, hey, that's it. Let's quit." You know, I think we've figured out a way to make it work, and we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy each other still, so it works.
Okay. What is a misconception that people might have about you that you would like to address?
Oh man. Well, I think many times people put us on a pedestal, or they expect us to be on a pedestal, to be perfect. And I think that's the biggest thing that I notice is when they see that we're not, or in their eyes that we're not. Like if I'm having dinner with my family and I'm sitting there having a glass of bourbon, and I'm in a private restaurant having a private dinner with my family, and someone comes up to me and gives me the deer in the headlights look because I'm drinking a bourbon, and it literally sometimes asks me like, "Wow, I had no idea you drank. I'm a little let down, a little bummed out." I mean, I've had many things like that said to me. That's something that happens often, and I just think that it's important for us to always remember that men are not perfect. Men are always going to fail you. And that's why it's important for us not to focus on men and put our trust in men, but to focus on God and put our trust in God.
This is very important to me because I imagine you still drive around in this every day. So, gently give me this answer. Whatever happened to the van from the Soldiers Under Command album?
You know what? I don't know, and I could care less.
You just broke Steve's
Yeah, that
heart.
wasn't a very gentle letdown.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. That van, we had some good times in the van, but they were short-lived. That van was given to Robert by Darren Hinton, who is a dear friend of ours, a woman that invested money into the band early on and really helped us succeed and break and make it, and allowed me to be talking with you today. And we bought new gear and outfits and made our first album, paid for that. But she also gave us a few other things along the way. She gave me a car, convertible Cougar XR7, 1973. And other than the cockroaches that were in the car when it came from Hawaii, that was an awesome car, And that's a true story. We can talk about that another time, but it was infested with cockroaches. My brother got the van, which was in a movie that Darren's brother Darby was in.
Okay.
I forget the name of the movie. And
was it Malibu Express?
It might have been something like that.
How do you know that?
That's a subject for another day too. Okay.
Yeah, and Robert got the van, and knowing Robert as we all do, Robert loved the van. Any one of us, the other guys, myself, Oz, or Tim, probably would have said, "You got anything else?" I'll take that instead. Robert's like, "Wow, I love this," and Robert actually painted it, had it painted, and drove that thing around, and it had a 50 caliber machine gun on the top, and the back gate would. You could lift and raise and lower the back gate. And we would go to the market and come walking out of the back gate of that thing with the 50 caliber on the top.
I would love to see that. Go back in time.
Yeah, and nobody would even look twice at us. Now we'd be arrested and sent to prison,
Yeah.
It was the 80s. You expected a yellow and black van going down the street. So I think I asked the wrong brother. So in my mind, next time Robert has to go to the store to get milk, that he's walking into it and getting in that car.
Robert would say, "Oh my God, I miss that van so much," something like that.
I think that's why when Steve asked you about it, you're like, "Dude, I don't care, man. That's not my thing." Yeah, that's funny.
No, it's an iconic van. I tell you, man. People ask about it all the time, and so much so. This is why we decided to, kidding aside, we decided to make a limited run of a toy van, replica of that van. Ooh, that's going to be available soon in a limited edition. So, if you really want that van, you want to own that van, man, you want to get one of your limited edition runs of it coming soon.
My wife will appreciate the discussion that we'll have after this for
Right.
Christmas.
Steve just got the
Yeah.
first item on his Christmas list this year.
So,
Nice.
Michael, again, thank you very much for joining us. My
Yeah.
last question is, what is next for you and Striper? And by the way, this episode will air in late October.
Okay. Next for me and or Striper, I'll tell you a lot. Basically, I am wrapping up literally today and tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm done with the Sunbomb vocals, which is an album Tracy Guns and I did together.
Okay.
I don't know when that's coming out, but it's getting turned in soon. Kind of a Sabbathy doom metal with positive lyrics, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to start on the Reborn project. I'm going to add some guitars and vocals to my original version of Reborn. I thought it would be really interesting, not to disrespect Striper at all. Some people took it that way, to release my version of it because it was originally a solo album.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it'd be cool to release that and just show people it's very similar. There's no difference really with it than the Striper album, other than maybe the feel of it, different players. But I want to release that. That's going to happen. And then I start on a new project next year with Joel Hoekstra and Nathan James. And then I do a solo album right after that in February. And then Striper's going to be touring supposedly next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a new Sweet and Lynch album. And then we're going to start on a new Striper album at the end of the year.
Oh, man.
Wow. You are staying busy. That's awesome.
You wouldn't have time to even be in the van to go get milk. So,
dude,
that's right.
I tell you, it's crazy. I look at my life and I think, I see a lot of my friends going and getting day jobs, and life has changed for everyone, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I'm very blessed to not have to do that yet, and I have all these opportunities. I'm very thankful for them. So I'm going to keep walking through those doors and doing what I do.
Oh, when you have a voice like Michael Sweet, please keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Keep doing
don't get a day job.
Well, if I do have to get a day job, I'm sure I'll be singing all day working, and then I'll get fired.
Yeah, right.
We'll test the PA system before you get out there. Make sure
right.
you don't hit a high note. Cool. I think that's all we have.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
guys.
Michael.
You're awesome. Thank you so much. You guys, I wish you nothing but the best. Stay safe out there, and God bless you.
God bless you. Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.